joining the Falcons, this roster, it is kind of staggering to think that it started off as a #2 team in the world, like a core team in the world that have had their struggles. But we're diving straight into the action, Alan. We're straight into this pistol. It's already a B-side hit and forward push from this OG team as they try to take control of the cube, and they will be very successful. Square is dominated. Magis Glass alive.
Best way to silence the Nico rumors is to get us straight into game. No time to talk.
How dare they speculate?
Win that one. But I don't care. I'm going to keep talking about it.
Yeah, no, of course.
Because that is what everyone wants to know. Everyone's thinking about.
Yeah, and
certainly,
I think
the timing to me is odd.
Yes.
Because... But this is my read. I could be wrong. My read, and if I was Nico's agent, this is the way I'd be playing it. I'm not going to make a decision until after the major. But I want to know what contracts are on the table. Because that G2 team could win Shanghai. I'm not going to say they're favourites, but they could do it.
I mean, they could have won Cologne. I think that was
absolutely
what a lot of people looked at.
So that's the way I look at it for Nico is, you know, I'm the maiden and everyone's coming round to pitch themselves as the eligible bachelor. And
court me.
Exactly. He's the princess. That's genuinely, if I was his agent, how I would play it is, you need to, both financially in terms of how the team is heading, you need to convince me, you know, that you're the direction to go in. Because I truly believe Nico's in the business of winning majors. I really don't think anything else is motivation.
Yeah, and he's not won a major yet, so it is all about getting that coveted trophy that's eluded him for such a long time. And I do agree, you know, they have to sweeten the pot enough to make that the right move. This was a second round force buy from the Falcons that has not seen success. OG barreling into that B-bomb side again. And I think, you know, you talk about timing, I do think it is odd because it does seem like Falcons are starting to figure themselves out a little bit. I don't know that, you know, they're going to be in the conversation to winning events, even maybe even to the level of a challenger standing event where you have them going off to places like Atlanta, Katowice, Jönköping, those types of events. You know, they did place in the finals of Jönköping recently, but I think they've been actually on an uptrend as well. So I think even the rumors for the Falcons may be coming at a weird time where they start to actually put it together, where it has been somewhat absent, for lack of a better term, for this team of what should be, I mean, event winners.
I guess it's the thing, isn't it? Is any result bar top 8, top 4s
acceptable?
Yeah, I mean, is anything else what they want? And I certainly feel like when you have the budget, and they do, a player of Nico's caliber, it's a bit like when NIP signed Device, and it's like, Nuke was a perfectly good player. In some ways, Nuke got hard done by. But when a player of that caliber is available, you've got to take it seriously. And I mean, I presume Dupree's the person who's in trouble on this lineup. But yeah.
It's a similar discussion people are having about Perfecto currently being a free agent. You know, I feel like every roster move, there's always this scream, pick up Perfecto! Because players of that class are very rarely free agents.
This could get ugly. XP bars are a little bit low. Just gonna avoid this lead. We'll use that advantage. Bomb goes down, and once this is planted, Falcons kind of missed their window, haven't they? Let's see if some Pius can rake up any more money. You question what the environment inside of Falcons is like. I actually somewhat suspect rumours like this don't make a massive difference because of the intrinsic expectations versus reality dynamic what everyone speaks about. But it's certainly something to contend with that I'm not sure many other teams contend with this nearly as much.
Yeah, it's one of the problems with being a team that want to thrust themselves into the spotlight. And I think it's about time we start locking in onto this game. First proper gun round out for the Falcons. OG as well have been doing a good job of finishing on towards this B bomb site, but let's see if that maintains. Falcons have done a decent amount of damage in some of these prior rounds. They've made them somewhat contestable, but OG have been able to weasel out of problems thus far. Bit of venture from Nexius out towards middle, and Snappy still hanging around inside of caves. Snappy eventually thrust out of that position, bullet to the forehead. And now OG will simply wait. I think that's one of the good things about this move for Crizin coming into this team. Young in-game leader, I think people expect this to be a very promising move, almost akin to a Shuhei with Gamer Legion when he initially sort of stood in with them. I don't think it's of the same caliber, but I think you can potentially see the promise there, given the immediate improvements I think OG have made so quickly into his signing. So they're showing a lot of temperament in this first gun round with that man advantage, expecting Falcons to make some level of a reaction, but everyone is very static on the defense.
Yeah, clearly the reaction seems to be, well, we think they're coming B, so we're going to stay here with numbers. Free's the only man that can truly influence this round. Needs to, but the trade was always going to come in. Falcons, I mean, Magus gave it a look towards CT, but this is going to be a save, surely. No need to contest this. They'll have full loss bonus, so drop guns and buy again. It's been a pretty flat start. I mean, the pistol went somewhat close, but since then, all OG.
Yeah, and this won't do a lot to keep OG's money at bay. 4 survivors, and they could even fan out on a couple of players if they're feeling so brave to eliminate the potential of an AWP. Maybe get one of these rifles out of hand. I think with how much OG froze and the amount of flashbangs that Falcons still had in their pockets, you could certainly see why OG were sort of staying static and waiting for that reaction. They won't have known exactly the utility available for the opposing team, but have some idea. Players are actually very good at creating inventories in their head. Well, certain players are.
Being the evil mastermind, I of course am. If I was on OG, I'd have a bind set up so that for every player on the other team, you could hit the bind that says minus some pious plus Nico, or minus Snappy plus Nico. Then every time you get an egregious kill on them, you just hit the bind. It would be outrageous, but it would be glorious.
I don't know. I feel like a penalty would have to be incurred.
They would do that in some traditional sports. They'd do that, and I'd be all for it.
Well, I think if you're doing it in conventional sports, they might even show it up on a big screen in an arena or something.
Wasn't it Michael Jordan that would just like complete trash talk people on the court?
Yes.
Literally bring like personal life stuff into it. That's a bit much.
Yeah, I'm not so. I'm not so sure.
I'm sure. It might not have been him, but there's a book about his career called Relentless, and I'm sure it's in there. So I'm not going to say it was Michael Jordan, but it was somebody in the top flight during his day and age. Anyway, some Counter-Strikes on. Seems to keep forgetting.
And OG are striking the hell out of them right now.
That's a good line. I should use that.
Oh, man. Could be in for actually a decent timing. Crizin caught jump spotting on that A bomb site, and a little stutter step just to catch the AWP of Sun Pious. So aware of 2 players gravitated towards that A bomb site, but rotations are quick here for the Falcons, and OG haven't permeated into B as of yet. Snappy there to actually just secure the round. Madden there to cut the cross, and it's a Madden triple for the first round for Falcons here on this defense.
Yeah, they thought their timing was better than it was. They didn't use any nades towards short. Bit of a shame for OG. Have to watch it back to cast full judgment, but maybe, when you're playing a round like that where it's strung out mid-round and you've got a lot of space, when you make your move, you need to be ready to end the round, and I'm not sure as Chris came out anyway. I'm not sure the rest of the team was ready to win the round. I'm not sure the rest of the team was ready to hit him on the sides. So That may be the place where they need to think about it more.
Oh my goodness. Nexius has just caught a forward push from Magis. He played close elbow, and just before the smoke bloomed, able to catch him. They do a counter onto Moto. Crizzen a trade back, and they have found 2 on this B-bomb site. So immediate space denial here from OG. They move in with Buzz on that bomb and start punching in those digits as well. He does so unguarded, but so confident after those 2 kills. Dupree and Sampaius that remain here for the retake, and they are very split. Dupree just hoping around the edge of the smoke that someone's head would be revealed, but it's not looking likely. There's no kits available, there's no smokes, no mollies, nothing that can make their job any easier here on this retake, and so Falcons would do good to save and run away, and they'll do exactly that.
Yeah, I mean, just one look at their money says we need to save at least 1 gun. So, bit of a shame. But OG immediately back on the board. It's been a very decisive, even the round we quit because the round they lost.
Yeah.
Maybe there were some mistakes, but they were trying to make moves. They're trying to be proactive. And every single other round at the moment, Falcons are always playing catch-up. They're always mispositioned, or they're losing the first kill, or for whatever reason, they're not in these rounds very much at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's just been these openers. You know, it's been so frequently first 15, 20 seconds, OG are finding a pick, and then freezing for the sort of subsequent 50 seconds to a minute. And there's very little that Falcons have to counteract that as of right now. And I think this is the thing that's been kind of most notable about the Falcons as of late, is that they actually have been, I think, just better in their team play and setting each other up for some of these explorations or, you know, counteractions to take away space, but not seeing much of that as of yet.
I've certainly felt, at least towards the end of last season, to be when I watched this team the most, I don't think they play bad Counter-Strike. I don't think Falcons make horrid... What's happened there? What's happened there? Did his molly not go all the way up onto the platform and spread down? That's not a good start. Snappy catches Fico alone trying to make a move. Perhaps Fico feeling like, I need to get a response here. Snappy can get out alive. This round is close to being over.
Yeah, I think you've got time to continue your point. If you,
I can't even remember what it was.
They play good Counter-Strike, Falcons.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I think they make solid decisions. There's no huge glaring errors. There's, you know, when you have a team with Snappy, Magus, Dupree, and Zonic behind them, I think it would be almost egregious to make massive mistakes all the time and this sort of thing. I do think their CS can be sometimes a little bit boring, but that might almost be by design until they get on top of their problems.
Yeah, this round actually may still have some problems yet to dissect. Sampaius is alone on this A-bomb side after losing Magisk inside a donut. Wolf of Modo has made this round a little bit more interesting. Sampaius to hold the cross and a miss. Shoots right between 2 players that emerge out from donut, and they'll hold that man advantage. Falcons are trying to prioritize that in for this retake, but OG have got that bomb down where they started this round 3-on-5. Smokes are still up as well, so it makes it awkward, and just trying to taper out and find that flank onto Donut. Moto's found another, but a great post-plant position to hold to segment off that bomb, but Puzz is playing very far and detached. He's circling back towards A main, while Moto is left in responsibility to hold down this bomb site. They'll lose out on Moto and just stick the defuse. Wait, no, they come off of it, and it gives Puzz better timing to come back out from A main. He was not going to make that had they stuck it the first time over, but this round is a little all over the shop from both. OG making that compelling, but Falcons still pull through.
Yeah, that was a round.
Just a roller coaster.
Yeah, I mean, if you open your dictionary and look for left out to dry, that's what Buzz did to his teammate there. Wow. That was a very intriguing afterthought. Thing is, though, OG on the T side As long as they keep rounds close, keep money low, you're doing your job. That's what matters here. And with that entry, Snappy just can't get engaged here out of Jag. I'm almost sat here wondering why Snappy would play Jag. It feels like a very mechanical position, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of star players that play in Jag.
It is definitely a position though where you have a tremendous ability to coordinate the map. And certainly being there is of value to Snappy. It looks like Madden could get caught here. He's looking the right way. Nobody at the moment.
Yeah, okay, well, Madden's got the vision, at least. Nexius didn't even consider it, maybe just lost timing on that smoke.
It's exactly the same as that round where Kristen walks out A. Is like, how are we going to bring that lurker into play? We've got a B fake now, which could work. Dupree gets caught, he does not. So, Falcons fully biting that this is B. They're obviously going to end up in an A after one. I'm watching Fiku and saying, how long can he delay? How much time can he burn?
The question will be whether or not he even needs to burn time, because Buzzer's taken attention and lost his life in Donut, and so it's fast rotates out from the Falcons. Fiku was... they don't know that he's still circling around this position. I think they may have heard the steps on his approach, and now the round is feeling pretty hard for OG. It's only Moto that can really fight and defend the bomb. And with him down, Fiku on 3 HP, other side of the map. Falcons were out of position, but they were still aware of some of the possibilities here for OG.
Madden will know that fight in Red Room could have gone either way. Slightly bizarre antics from OG.
Yeah.
They're certainly very proactive. They're always looking for a gap. That time I think they pushed the envelope too far. If that B fake, so say the B fake comes in 5 seconds earlier, maybe Madden pushes through mid, doesn't even check. Maybe the B fake comes in and they know one's in red rooms, the A players have more space. You know, you want it all to happen at the same time. There's a gap between the player in red room dying and then the fake. You're losing information. You don't know where that player in mid is gone.
Sure. Well, OG on Tech 9s and one AK that is saved over via Fiku. Oh god, Flash is great, and Snappy gets ran down by Kristen. Once again, running through that Jag smoke and just overwhelming the in-game leader, the Falcons. This has not been a very fruitful endeavor.
Yeah, I almost wonder if some of these round wins are confirmation bias for Falcons, in that they're not... Well, maybe that's the wrong way to phrase it. Like, they haven't addressed the Snappy problem, because they're still winning some rounds. And it's reared its head once again. This one's just a half buy from OG. They're a man up. Falcons are getting aggressive. And with 3 in close attendance and 2 nearby, Dupree will be lucky to get out alive. Oh, he gets caught on his teammate. That is not good. That's a 3-legged race, and they've both fallen over.
Oh, no. Different minds. One had to reload, one standing and fighting, trying to secure the exit, and some pious blindsided by Cave being fully accessed by OG. This was a calamity of problems that all just seemed to blow up at once here for the Falcons. It's like that first domino that falls in Snappy, the reaction to ramp, and all of it ain't pretty. Don't expect that Magisk will be able to escape with this rifle either. I think Kristen will have his suspicions. And there's very little to lose when you've come through on a force buy and completely toppled the rifles of the Falcons. Magisk does actually get his kill. So, never mind. Should be able to hold on to this no problem. Yeah, I wonder what the counteraction will be here from the Falcons, because they've tried to take fast mid control a number of times to get that quick ledge ascension, but OG have been pretty consistently mollying ledge from elbow. They've also been flying through that elbow smoke a couple of times. It's how the opening picks in the first 4 rounds really started to develop for this OG side. And so it almost feels like that play has been cut off based on the early conditioning from OG. But Snappy does need some support.
Just checking the recent results, actually, for Falcons. They have won their last 2 on Ancient. Before that, they lost 5. Now, granted, FaZe, Mouse, Astralis, Liquid. Maybe with the exception of that Liquid team, which was in Flux.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty big names here. I mean, Astralis is a very good Ancient team, but the key point is they're always going to get picked into them. And then having a really troublesome CT side. This is not against the grain, the way they're playing at the moment. Albeit stronger opposition in the past, but
sure.
They've clearly had some woes.
And there are many reasons, many excuses you could levy to OG for why they would maybe even lose this series 2-0. Recent roster moves, in-game leadership. We levy those as very feasible reasons why teams will look poor in the first maybe 3 to 4 weeks. Looking pretty good at the start of their pick in the series. Seemed like the way to address the Snappy problem was by having Madden play with him, and some Pius locking down the B ramp. First kill onto Kristen is great. Madden can rotate back in, collect one of his own, and some Pius taking that room. Flash to set it up as well. This is a really well done defense here by Falcons, just bouncing off of each other for each of these kills, and it ends in a Madden triple for a successful B-site lockdown.
Quite telegraphed from OG. Falcons never got surprised. Some Pius was in the right place come the contacts as well. And they had practically all 5 players there once the actual hit was engaged. So it's always going to be tricky for their adversaries. Second timeout coming in for OG.
Yeah, both teams using 2 in the first half.
I don't dislike it. I mean, you'd hope that Kristen or maybe the coach, somebody's just chime in. They have lost some gun rounds in a manner that maybe could be fixed. You know, that some of these rounds, as I've pointed out, they might be clocking that we just need to communicate a little bit better. I wonder in this round if they had planned to commit earlier. It was really strange, especially that smoke up the lane. I know it's nice to cover off Jag and the mid jumper, but I mean, you're burning a smoke, and it's like, if you're Falcons, you're like, why else would they throw this unless they're all there? A bit bizarre.
Yeah, maybe some problems masking their intentions. This time, 2 smokes used towards middle here by OG, 1 for Donut and 1 for the Red Room. So they do make their presence known. They tank a couple bullets as well by Nexius. That control that they wanted to show. Falcons are very much aware of that fact. They counteract by moving towards B. And Fiku finding one with the Madden trade. It's an equal exchange on that B ramp, but Magisk! Some lightning headshots. So quick just to dispatch that early mid control. And OG, they froze in place. It's like they expected that there would be a tougher fight in mid, and it never came until the smokes had faded.
That was a hell of a 2K. Really fast. Madden found a kill as well in the meanwhile. And what do you do now if you're OG? There's a case to save, but Buzz goes looking. Buzz finds Dupree is out. And who have we got? Some Pius alone on this site. If, and a big if, he can be plucked. Maybe there's a route in, but not to be. Some Pius stands firm. 5 for Falcons, and money in the bin. It's going to be a real rough force buy to come.
Kind of expecting with how much B has been a fruitful venture for OG in some of these pacier rounds that I'm expecting to see these Tech-9s go much the same way. They even won a round exactly like this previously, but they're circumventing my expectations by lining themselves up for what looks to be just a fast A assault. There is nobody there for the Falcons. Catching the fact that Falcons are playing double mid on the start, smoke towards that donut position, Moto already taking all that room, so these Tech-9s have breached the bomb site without having to do a lick of damage. There's a lot of damage in response, though, through these smokes, and OG, with this bomb site, sure, they've got 5, but no util, no guns, very little position. They push through the CT smoke, and they get their hands on some of those weapons that they were absent of, but running through smokes are Falcons, too. They want to get these kills right back. They don't feel comfortable in this retake attempt, and it'll be OG on Tech-9s that breach in for a 7th. We'll see if it continues this way in the second half after the break.
Back with a bang. That's what we need from Falcons. And recent results on Ancient haven't been great. Stiff opposition, though. And there were some signs of life in that first half. It's like a few too many slip against the half-eyes. Didn't go well. And now we need some work. Pistol will be a great start. And they're heading B.
Well, it's what OG did on their pistol, so let's see if they can make it work much the same way. Moto overwhelmed, had the dualies in the right spot, but the flashes are beautiful, and Krizen and Fiku will lap them up. The shout out Nexius, that one flash just blitzed the Falcons completely.
That was glorious.
Don't think you could draw up a better reaction from OG.
I have very happy dreams about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's crisp, it's beautiful. Just gives you all the feels. Unfortunately for Falcons, that was bad news. They're not quite so happy. They're actually going to force buy. A lot of teams would have saved for AKs in the subsequent round, but Falcons potentially, I guess because of the round deficit, thinking already about getting themselves engaged. Dupree, that is an absolute ripper. Fiku gone. Scrambling now for rotations. Need to deal with Chrisen. They can fail without losing too many numbers. Suddenly they got Jag and Cave, and the bomb is down. Maybe some guns to be recovered too. This is game on now.
Yeah, Moto getting those 2 kills through smoke just make the job of OG a little easier. Retake smoke a little, way too deep, in fact. That is so far down the ramp, it'll be hard for OG to make use of that. They do smoke off Cave, however, and Magisk peeking round from default, catching both Nexius and Moto. These are Deegs just through and through here for Falcons that have won them this round on the force buy between Dupree and Magisk. They collect on some really rapid shots, and Falcons will be happy they get one of these force buys to work for them this time.
I like to think they come out of spawn and the guys are saying, Snappy, what's the plan? And he's like, kind of composes himself. He looks up, he looks down.
He spoke in Danish, in fact, for the whole call.
Yes. He said, 3 Deeg headshots. That is the plan. And my god, did it work. That was the game almost on a precipice. It would have been 10-5 with economic control for OG. Now the game is flipped completely. Falcons full buy, OG terrible force. Win this and it's 8-7, then 8-8 with the following eco. Just need to survive this as Falcons and you're right back in it.
Yeah, I imagine there would have been a minor pep talk. Just saying, don't lose this round. Nexius, realizing that red room smoke was a little deep, tried to catch something around the edge of it, and he does hit the leg of some Pius, but not all too much damage done. Pius is, Snappy on a solo adventure. Does have teammates right behind him that were there to guarantee the trade. Wasn't sure that would be a very favorable tool for some Pius, but they do dispatch of these defenders on beat, and they stop the worst case scenario from occurring. This time no force buy success from OG. And the Falcons taking it in good stride, them given that lifeline.
Simple stuff. Clean round. Only point of jeopardy, of course, was here in towards the cave, and handy trade did the job.
I have a question for you. I don't know if you know too much about this specific player or his roles, but you know, when Buzz joined Astralis, he was very much like a hard entry type player that had his roles diversified a little bit. Was it also a bit surprising going into that T side where Buzz just kind of wasn't that guy? I think Nexius was and Chrisen were really flying out in search of kills.
I'd have to really go through all of it, I think.
Sure.
Sit down, look at the spots to answer that one. I certainly could imagine for OG, they've got a lot to figure out on this team. And one of those is positions, so I wouldn't even be surprised if no position is safe at the moment. Everybody's up for grabs
and flux,
trying to test different things out, yeah. So
okay. That's fair. I just feel I get caught in characterizing the player, and then they do. I mean, things
equally, you know, when you go up to a team like Astralis in his position, you're just going to play where you get told to play. He probably has a little bit more leeway.
Oh, okay. Chrisen was prepping to jiggle or swing into Donut and just gets ran down. And you weren't expecting much from this round from OG. No real investment. Just that Buzz Deeg that finds nothing, and Falcons are flying through nicely to start off this T side. Yeah, OG set up on those mid-control takes, something that Falcons, I think, struggled with in the opening segments of their defense. The Johns have been a little quicker from the Falcons, making use of the SMGs and these rifles. You know, bar when they were against that force buy, they just... The hesitation was just trying to make sure they didn't make a mistake. But I think they see the win condition now. Game flipping, and with us being tied at 8-8, Falcons could very well just run off into the sunset if OG aren't prepared.
This round's important. Gotta hit the ground running. And it's not a perfect buy because they forced then ecoed. Oh, it's not this bonus.
Oh!
1400 and growing. Buzz, what a lineup. Madden dispatched. And again, in a round where they don't really have the util to play the long game. Well, that makes a tremendous difference. Huge kill at just the right time.
I felt like Madden was just throwing off some warning shots, and he gets... Well, he's the one that gets warned to stay away from that position, probably for the rest of the game. That is, yeah, a great kill to find at a pivotal moment. Kristen did cede his position inside of Cave and has left a lot of open room on this B bomb site, then prioritizing a little bit more of a mid-focus. Falcons are grouped up ramp and ready to hit onto this B bomb site, but they're waiting until these smokes bloom first. Moto vision obscured. And Snappy will be the one that leads the way into this site. It is open for business. Prison playing around the edge of it, and both Prison and Moto go down. In fact, Magis, round the back of that short side smoke, has also found another. And just like that, that round explodes. Fiku can get nothing accomplished coming up from ledge. Nexius trapped. So from a man advantage for OG, in the cleanest manner you could ask for, they start stacking the wrong direction. Falcons make use of what is a lot of open runway on B.
Clean up as well. Magisk and Dupree have got so many high impact kills in this game. So many. Making a huge difference to the trajectory here. And I really feel like this game for Falcons, yes, they lost some rounds in the first half. They put themselves in a tough spot, but that was OG making moves, OG getting aggressive. I don't think Falcons played a bad game of Counter-Strike. And now, I think that class is starting to show. It's OG that are inconsistent. Falcons have been a flat line, steadily improving. And now they're starting to get in control, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's another half buy as well for OG.
You just think about that first half, how many opening kills OG were getting, whether that was Snappy inside of Jag or, you know, Nexius winning one of the mid-fights. I feel like those accounted for much of OG's success. You know, get a kill in the first 20 seconds, freeze, find a finish. But even fighting through some of these deficits, OG have, or rather Falcons have been able to answer in the ways that you would want this roster to succeed in. You know, that level
I'm not sure I'd go
experience.
there if I was Madden. After last time.
Yeah, I'd be scared.
He's got a gap. Especially if his teammates fighting on the ramp side. A little bit ugly, but we'll let him off. Let him off. Right.
Yeah. Well, it does bring up a real worry for OG now. Coming to the half 7-5, win the pistol coming into second, and the CT side has been barren ever since.
Nothing since. Also changes the complexion of the series. OG go from a very strong position at the half swap here to now potentially going on to Nuke, a map to the lesser. You could even despite all the Falcons' ups and downs, Nuke has been a maybe not the most winningest map for them, but certainly comfortable. I always felt they were comfortable on it. And that's what they need against OG. Stand in the Counter-Strike and win this. Dupree gets aggressive. Says, I want space. Who wants a fight? Buzz has a HE grenade. Burst that red room smoke. But can't take a duel. And Dupree goes hunting for even more space.
He's up close and personal, and Dupree does best him. As 50-50 as a duel as it could have been, Nexius does catch Dupree falling back from his position. He was low health. Continuing on that lurk didn't seem viable. So it is a quick equalization back to 4-on-4, but they're still set up for this mid-take. And Nexius hits the dink, but Madden answers with a headshot himself. These kills are close and could be round-defining. Fiku sits underneath of ledge, so chances of them rerouting towards that A bomb site are somewhat low. Fiku even finding his kill and may even just give up on his position now that it's equalized to equal numbers. Falcons are grouping though, and Snappy is leading the way with the bomb into the site and does so without being really seen or contested. Almost some Pius taking the angle and Moto down, Krisen as well. Fast shooting here from Sam Pius. The Spaniard offering up some goods here for the Falcons. And it's Fiku that looks to foil their plans. He'll slide up close. Steps made, and Snappy won't miss a beat. A complete beatdown so far coming into this second half. Falcons completely turning this map on its head, and now setting up in a very winning position.
This looks over to me. Pius has been on an absolute heater. I'm sure towards the mid and late stages of that first half, he was on something like 4 or 5 kills. Certainly not in position to take that many fights at him. He had the worst ratio, but he wasn't in as many duels as he obviously would have wanted to be. But this half, especially on the rifles, been stellar. If you add that into the way Magus, Dupree, heck, even Madden's playing. So few gaps in this team at the moment. What do? If you're OG, you take risks, you get aggressive, you make moves, and this time it's working. This map would have been a train wreck without the half-buys. It's the only thing holding them in it.
Yeah, and they might even get away with another 5-on-2. A fantastic crunch call from both Elbow and Main. Madden and Magisk have to deliver on some magic here for the Falcons. Magisk overwhelmed. There were 4 that were set up to run at him from ramp, and Madden also empty-handed. You're right on the money, Alan. Without these half-buys, without these force-buy type investments, OG would have been completely knocked out, but just like that, when they need it most, they find an answer.
Something truly delicious about the CTs having 5 AKs. I love it.
Not a casualty. That is mad.
I love that. There's 9 AKs on the server at the moment. Yeah, I mean, OG, they've got to see that as a lifeline. It should have been 12-8. Plenty of chances for Falcons. They win a half-buy. There's a lot of money on the server right now, so you have plenty of buys. Falcons don't end the game. What do they choose to go for? Slow default. Mid taken. Dupree comes looking. He wants fight. He's so aggressive. He's really far ahead of his teammates as well. Question what the plan is. Nexius in front of the molly. Some Pies was not ready for that. So 2 entries gleaned in mid. This surely is too much of an advantage to blow. They've lost some advantages, but not this big.
Oh, that could have been a way to lose it. Nexius almost caught on the jump peak. Snappy finding a timing. Does good damage. Fiku down to 20 HP. And they are not healthy. Not in great position here on this B bomb site. Krisen as well is going to get Molotov forward. And they'll finish off onto both of them. Magisk a double kill. Back into a 2-on-2. Madden up from ramp as well. Finding that space. But Bomb's not with him. And so even if he gets territory on B, he has to try and secure a path out for Magisk as well. He knows he has a player locked in at the minimum, but does he know that it's both? They'll both swing out, and it's Moto that collects on the spray down. A round that hangs on a knife's edge. 5-on-3 to start, but it comes down to a Moto mow-down. This game is chaos.
Yeah, I mean, give me some heart rate straps on OG management after that one. They almost blew it. I don't know what's going on the B site there. 5 on 3, and then the other site players comes on the site, and then they decide to go in towards cave. It's like, guys, just play retake. If in doubt, just play. Even leave the site player out. You know, someone spams behind the smoke, and he tries to go 1-for-1. They put themselves in the only position where they could get crunched.
Whole shoulder offered there as well inside of Donut. Moto, good angle. Sampaius was ready for that face, but Moto quicker to the draw. And just like that, seems like Falcons are being deterred from this A-bomb site. If Sampaius had found that kill, they would have probably ran in stride. Oh my goodness, Krisen, what? Gets caught, but spins for the headshot. Another 5-on-3 here for OG. And this time it's a big miss from Moto. Ready for the duel, but Dupree outguns, and they have carved a path towards this A-bomb site. They can get it planted. They'll hold on to Donut. OG rerouting just to try and play numbers, because they'll have that in the advantage for this retake.
No smoke either for Donut. So have to root this out. Sheer weight of numbers. Buzz collects. It's getting a little bit awkward. Magus and Dupree, they know they need to take a fight. They don't want to get crunched between the two positions. As one stamps on the bomb. But they can't get a duel. Finally, Buzz is felled. Nexius trying to carve out some space. Figu comes off the bomb. Oh. It is close. It is ugly, but Falcons are not going to care. 12 rounds. Better late than never.
Oh, you're so right. You know, the fact that they're trapped inside of Donut, they don't have to contest bomb. Buzz is still just being a nuisance from behind. You know, that's great stuff there from Magus to have pushed out, found that kill, and then just the immediate snap decision as well for them to run onto the site. There was even a world I think Fiku could have gotten away with the full defuse, but he heard those steps and he came off it. So very close, so many of these rounds.
Comes in handy in those moments. Magus and Dupree sharing so much Counter-Strike of their careers.
Yeah.
I can't imagine there's a lot of time to communicate, but at this point, they're hive minds. They know what each other are doing. What is happening in this round? It is a bloodbath. Everybody's dead towards B. Madden's gone looking, but the CTs are elsewhere. We're going the distance.
2 on 5 would be certainly something. Magisk and Madden, this time it's just Madden, as Magisk did get his kill before falling. But yeah, an incredibly complicated clutch, but he's got time, so may opt to use that to the best of his abilities. Steps made coming out from cave, and first kill's clean. Buzz is able to adjust. If Madden had spotted both, that could have been devastating. But pulled the trigger on the first, and it is destined to go the full distance. All 24 rounds we'll see play, and it's all about whether or not we can get to overtime or not, with OG having to field an SMG for this last round.
Got me intrigued. I wonder where the headspace is at for Falcons, because and on the one hand, the way that first half was trending, to now be on the brink of overtime isn't a horrible spot, but they'll know that it should have been 12-8 up against that force buy where they lost all players without finding a frag. Even reflecting grimly on some of those half buys in the first half coming out from OG. But it's neither here nor now. The moment is upon us to see if Falcons can get this done in regulation. Snappy, a big call to follow. It's actually been a game where I think they've struggled in key rounds to get opening kills. They've had to recover a lot from a deficit. And this one, Skessa gets more important than this. They need an opener.
Another setup here for Krisen to be aggressive. Flash goes high. Snappy round the corner, and Krisen overpowers. Snappy was ready on the angle. Krisen had to adjust. Fiku fighting for his life on B, because he was that sole defender, and they know about Krisen. They know he'll be low HP. Man advantage here for OG, but bomb is planted.
This duel is everything. Dupree says no thanks. I'll use my util, I'll bide my time. Nade does the job. Snappy may have died, but that information was of tremendous value. Oh, Dupree is such a menace. He's such a monster. The experience coming into play. Whoever would have expected to push through the smoke in a round under this pressure? Surely it's bought enough time. It's a good kill from Modo, but this is done. Surely Falcons are on the brink, and they have done it. They have won their opponent's map pick. It wasn't easy. It wasn't clean, but they'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, so many close rounds, and then you had this magic of these major winners on the side of the Falcons, these major winning Danes able to just pull through in such key moments. Really big map as well from Madden as well, even in a lot of those hectic situations, finding a lot of impact. And given all the speculation about this roster, some great forward-facing performances from the Riflers.
I mean, you will. I've seen plenty of these qualifiers where nothing of the sort happens, but they'll be disappointed if they weren't in Rio.
I mean, I feel as though Falcons have been plagued by expectations, and so what's to say Rio isn't another one that falls through their fingertips?
Hopefully they make it there and then play G2. Then that would be the ultimate.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. Who am I taking? Falcons and Eternal Fire, because I always take Eternal Fire.
Sure. Okay.
I actually would take them, I think. I think they're better than everyone else in this qualifier.
Yeah,
and they're quite good at playing online. They like to.
Also fair. Well, we finally got our second map, and OG are scrapping outside, as are the Falcons, but it's these double S's of the Falcons that find instant headshots. There are no smokes available for a potential cross here for the Falcons, so they may have to just cut their losses. They got those 2 kills. They had one traded back, but after that, they'll work that man advantage and reset back towards lobby, where OG are anticipating this potential move down ramp, given it is a massive gap that Falcons are currently perusing.
Right decision, isn't it? They had no nades to cross outer. Take that advantage and go elsewhere. Just need this trade, and nothing of the sort transpires. New man on campus finds 2 blinding headshots. This bomb is doing its utmost to make it up the vent, but it's not going to happen. Last one for the ace. Reload thwarts it for the moment. Go on, my son. Get in the fights. Ace might be out of reach, as Madden surely gets caught soon. There's a player coming out of Squeaky at the same time. Catches Buzz in towards Hut. Actually has a safe plan for the moment. Fiku, does he round this silo in time? Madden has no idea. And Fiku strikes.
Yeah, both players on this A-bomb site getting timing from Buzz trying to relocate back into Hut, and Madden as well thinking he has enough time to reposition after the plant. A bit hectic, but Chrisen, a 4K, fantastic positioning on that lower site. Some great shooting on those dualies as well. And I think that's probably been the biggest surprise with Chrisen, at least as far as this series is concerned. He's fragging pretty damn well. I think that's a major driver as to how they got some of the openings on Ancient as well. And now a beautiful 4K added to the tally.
Not a player I've seen loads of. See, the time I saw him the most is when he stood in for Heroic.
Sure.
Very briefly, between the 2 iterations of Heroic. He looked good there, but obviously, sample size, who knows what spots he was
The
playing,
circumstance is also difficult to
it's
perform in, right?
It's basically, a charity match at that point. Hard to ascertain too much. But he at least held his own, so I'm not surprised that he's come to this level of competition. He still plays his own Counter-Strike. This round, though, not quite as appealing. Modo's got the AWP out second round. And Falcons out of nades.
Nexus as well, spotting them towards the lower side. A lot of steps made after the flash, so rotations are here for OG. Buzz does get spotted dropping into dark, so that makes his position very difficult, very tenuous to play. But Falcons aren't really fond of the idea of finishing. They might funnel into the Fiku XM, and the auto shotgun is gonna lap them up. That is fantastic work, fantastic spot for Fiku. That was just his for the taking all day long. It's a Dupree 1-on-4, but as he gets that plant down, he's seen relocating. They know he's in Hut, and that Moto AWP will strike for another. It's these one-shot weapons that pull through for OG in the second.
Wow, that was something. Whew.
Can't even create a better scenario. You know, if I'm
know,
buying an
I'm
XM, that is exactly what I want.
I'm gonna go hot under the collar after seeing that. That was juicy. I enjoyed that. What a great pair of multi-kills to kick us off in this half for OG. And Falcons with the bank. Roll the dice. Rebuy. A little bit more util this time. And actually, did one of them just swap off an AK? I think they did actually for even more util. So. Keep going. It's a very good buy from OG. It's not like buying second round this.
Yeah, it was the fact that I think Krizen's the one that dropped Moto that off, given that he got the 4 kills in the pistol. So, yeah, a lot earlier than you anticipate. The weapons looking this ideal on CT. Madden trying to find a timing around Garage. Krizen does seem somewhat conscious of it, but Madden, great forward play. Kept on trailing as that smoke was dispersing. Let's bring it back into 4-on-4. Moto's ult once again striking, and Madden is trying to keep the pressure applied, but difficult for him to get much more than what he's already found. One more kill and a trade right back, and man advantage still maintained here for the defense.
Awkward round. The Falcons. Is Nexius... He is. Out in the open. I'm a little bit speechless. He must have thought somebody was flanking. He must have thought.
Yeah.
That is an oversight. And now Falcons have all the space in the world. Fiku's had to put... He didn't have an alternative. He had to go into lobby because Heaven was exposed. I like this for Falcons. If they get up into Heaven, they get the bomb down with that after plant in mind. But he's got to beat Fiku, haven't they?
Yeah, but if Fiku comes up this ladder even, it still could get very awkward. Sure, Magisk is holding, but the chance of Fiku catching him out is still very high. And yeah, just running up that ladder, he'll catch Magisk. And Sunpies didn't punch in those digits. He didn't commit to the plant. And so now overwhelmed. Fiku's timing on the flank, fantastic. And Falcons left flabbergasted.
To get awkward. I don't know what was up with Nexius. Maybe a miscomm. Very bizarre, but Fiku timely pushing, head on his shoulders, knew he needed to take lobby, and he just keeps going. And you can say he was lucky, but he made his luck. He was bold. And Falcons, you absolute rascals. We're going in again. We're fully invested. We've got 5 players in lobby. And surely we're about to go. There's some utility on main. It's a double pump. And we are in. Fiku dispatched. Only 1 for the pole. Nexius can't get anything done. This one is going a hell of a lot better than the previous. So just need to get that bomb down in a good position. Plenty of util here for these CTs. But this util usage has to be perfection. And they don't know about Madden. This one's done, lads. Save the guns. Falcons finally break through.
Yeah, on their worst of the 4 spies yet. This time they didn't have a plant, so they couldn't get all these Galils, even threaten with AKs. It's Mac 10s and Tech 9s that finally break through. Just picking up the pace and not allowing for that AWP to, I guess, sing in for opening kills. Sometimes that is
I'm not sure I've ever seen a team with Dupree and Magus play this aggressively. And Sonic behind as well.
Yeah, 3.
I'm a little bit
3
stunned.
buys straight.
Yeah, I mean the third one had Madden got off the plant, I think a lot of teams would have bought. But remember, we're not. It might only be a 200, difference, but we're not on the old plant bonus. So, yeah, I really think. Just off what I've seen there, I really think Falcons will do that in other games. I think they feel like the reset is so worth it. You just keep going for it.
Yeah, because it's not like OG weren't taking casualties in their 1 rounds, and they knew they had invested into that AWP, so they certainly turned the half on its head very quickly. Position for Buzz. He saw Dupree run through the smoke, but he cannot get his hands on that kill. Dupree managing with that entry, and just the rest of the squad, the troops are behind him, just barreling into this B bomb site. This is likely to be an immediate save call here for OG. Their money is not great, and they have no position.
Yeah, I don't see an alternative. Buzz will be far from buzzing.
Yeah.
He'll know he absolutely should have got that kill. Now, I could hear a very credible argument that he was always going to get traded. That many players behind the smoke, but he would have wanted more.
You really just want your extremities players slowing down the play. You know, any seconds that Falcons take in taking that space, they know that rotates could have come in on that time. But if Dupree gets a pretty clean entry after bursting a smoke, then it's very difficult for OG to have even reacted in time.
So, I mean, Buzz is actually playing a really hard position to fall on because he's not on the railings to the right, so he has to jump up and over it if he wants to go down, and I mean, surely your head's going to be exposed over the box if you're doing that.
Yeah. His position feels very reliant on getting that kill.
I mean, even if he goes 1-for-1, as you've said, and Ramp has shown this over the years, Ramp is a spot where you take some shots. If you get a kill, good. If you don't, whatever. Your goal is to fall off, buy time, call for rotations, and allow your teammates to position themselves a little bit better. Modo, though, this time takes it in his own hands. Madden's through the smokes. There's a lot going on at the moment. Somehow OG have 2 players lower, which is really stunning me because of all the pressure on the upper side. Nexius and Kerr in the right place. So much damage, and I don't blame Dupree. I never would have expected a second player down.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, that is a great call. The lineup as well for the lower player on the M4 is fantastic for Buzz, because all he has to do is a singular bullet to the shins, and the round is pretty much done from there. That play from Moto as well is kind of outrageous. There's 2 smokes down towards that top side. There's a small gap that he's found through the smokes. That's a very hectic round. Falcons once again trying to play with pace. Modo changing his positions quite very frequently, and he'll catch some Pious just perusing close by to that red container. Opening kill. And there is more available here for the Falcons outer, but it'll be difficult for them to get hands on it. Prison has found one through smoke. And he's still hovering around. Modo catching Snappy after that smoke dispersed, and Dupree naded to high hell. Nothing has worked outside. Absolutely nothing.
Absolute airstrike. Wow.
What a throwing.
Yeah, what a dominant round. I mean, a lot of these have been close for OG. Obviously, they're really on the precipice these early rounds with all the force buys, but the last 2 have done a lot of work. This one looks like they're going to keep it clean and keep plenty of guns alive too. This is what the docs are ordered. Plenty of reasons to come into this map and just think Falcons, they're playing better Counter-Strike, they like Nuke. Could be a whitewash, but absolutely not. Falcons going to need to apply some grunt to win this map.
I think what's very cool to watch about OG so far, though, is, I mean, we noted it on Ancient as well, and I think you were the one to sort of point this out, that they're very active. You know, they like going for these aggressive fight-based calls, and you see it here. It's just like a complete crashing of waves towards outside. Just 2 completely opposing currents, and the Falcons side just weren't expecting as much resistance as they encountered.
They're also playing to win, aren't they? How many teams, especially in the position OG's in, where their rankings slipped, they're not playing their best Counter-Strike, so many moves. How many teams would just come in and just try and play slow and standard and, you know, rulebook Counter-Strike, which you would lose to a team like Falcons, I'm certain of it. They're making a few mistakes, but at least they're putting themselves in position to win rounds, to cause problems, to not let Falcons just default and split aside. Falcons have to work for this now, and it is hard work being snappy and calling against aggressive CD sides on Nuke. It's really, you just second guess every option you want to go for.
Yeah, unless you're able to punish it, it feels like the map just gets even smaller in terms of the territory you can fight for. Be exceptionally devastating. Now, top midi position here for Dupree, dropped quick. Magisk tried to go for a fight out of hut, but loses his head. And the journey towards lower has begun here for the Falcons. It is a slow migration, but they will get there. All 4 do make the cross.
I've seen wildebeest move faster than this. This is real slow.
But in terms of lower side defenders, Solitary AWP doesn't invoke the most confidence.
Not in this position either.
No.
I mean, what are you going to do? Even if you get the first, you are quite literally between a rock and a hard place. You get surrounded.
Yeah, I think.
Fortunately, Christian is now on location. I dare say a little bit more help might be needed, though. If we can get players up to control for Falcons and some util onto ramp, could be problems. Smoke dispersed, Moto burst that, but no catches. I don't mind this for Falcons. They can get the bomb down and fall back into decon. They got a real chance.
And it is a ramp-heavy retake here for OG. Sure, they have 5 alive, and they've got some smokes to play with as well. But actually getting a foothold back on this bomb site will be a difficulty. Dupree fighting from control and traded immediately. They blow the smoke as well in decon, and Moto's ult was trained in, but some pious through smoke. Also fumbling. Can't get even a singular kill, and so now Crizzen can simply stick. Is heavily safeguarded by the rest of the squad. Could have been disastrous for OG, given they had the man advantage, but even with Falcons plant, they couldn't get into very comfortable post-plant positions. Those smokes from OG coming in real clutch, and just limiting the sight lines that Falcons were trying to hold from.
Falcons might regret not going more players in control. Because Dupree was for me, he was the one man really trying to take a fight. He knew they had to fight them before, you know, players got on the bomb or whatever. He was the only man. So, potentially an opportunity, but it was a man deficit. It's always going to be tricky for Falcons, and that's the true story of this half, is Falcons have not played a lot of rounds in a good position. See who wins this engagement. Who spots who first? Madden comes through, he's not spotted at all. They have no idea. First collected, and that is going to completely flummox the CD side. They left ramp open, and now that's exposed. Hero to 0. It doesn't look good.
Oh, that could have been devastating. Nexius opening up double as well and killing what was a safeguarder on the plant. Dupree is getting completely clotheslined. I mean, low HP for that duel. It's crazy he got away with the secondary frag. It's some Pius and Snappy. They both sit on top of this rafter. Oh dear. Should they come out control, this would be devastating, but Snappy fighting forward and dropping to that low ground. It is ring around the rosy here for Snappy. He sells some Pius. He doesn't fight with him on that position, but he's now got a great post plant to play from, and he'll close the round here for the Falcons. I don't know how to describe the type of Counter-Strike we're watching. It is constantly in flux. Good positions, weird routing, and all from start to finish in round number 9.
If Snappy makes any more moves like that, I'm going to need him to enter the Olympic breakdancing. That was wild. That was crazy. That was all over
he might be overqualified given some of the entrants that...
Oh. Listen, I thought that was... I know what you're talking about. Is it Raygun? Am I remembering
Yeah,
correctly?
I think that's correct.
Raygun?
Sensational. It was...
They do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was entertaining.
I tried to watch the men's, but you couldn't get it on the BBC.
Yeah.
But all good, I googled it, found it on YouTube. It was alright, but not my cup of tea.
Well, this was the map pick of the Falcons, and they squeaked a victory on Ancient. This T-side has not been the greatest. OG have done a lot of active moves. They've constantly caught Falcons before they can set up for those finishers. But maybe Snappy winning that back in the clutch could be enough to spark a few more rounds here on the Falcons T side. OG a little bit more
keep in mind
hesitant.
that on map 1, the number of rounds where Magus or Dupree did something sensational to win it. And I'm not going to say they're playing badly, but the point I'm trying to make is that there's been no massive individual outplays yet on this half from Falcons, and you have to question the difference that's made so far. Madden, I think, should consider himself lucky. That could have been a full-on catch.
Got spammed as well just as he was exiting.
So if I'm OG, I'm not believing for a second that this player's down secret. I'm not buying it.
No, they're not rotating, so you're right in their assumptions. Oh my goodness, Nexius had good position. The Molotov, he knew it was going to funnel him out, and he goes right into the spray of Magus. So, a lot of opening exchanges, but Fiku just locking things down out from Mustang. He held the high ground, and Falcons seemingly unaware that he'd be fighting tooth and nail like that. Magus got that double kill, they lowered their guard, and Fiku finds a triple for his troubles. The Falcons, once again, left a little flummoxed that this A-bomb site was so heavily reinforced.
I'm sat here trying to think of like a Nicolas Cage Gone in 60 Seconds joke, because there's a Mustang in it, but I've got nothing. I've got nothing. Nothing good.
Yeah, that's a... I mean, you're so on the money with the amount of presence that Falcons throw towards outside, but then it's sort of half-hearted. They don't even send anyone on the journey.
It's also that they see Madden running back.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think Sherlock can solve this case. I don't think they're going outer.
With how many outplays Madden has had towards outside, him getting into garage, you know, flanking Crizzen, and, you know, even walking through main to kill an A-site player, you'd think you'd still run that route for Madden. Not to be. This time some Pious, that ult that saved over, does find an opening pick. Just journeyed to red and catches them blissfully unaware. Ooh, shoulder offer up as well, and oh, that's just simple pickings. Pious a double kill, so significant man advantage here for the Falcons. Only problem is that this doesn't cascade out of control as of yet. These weapons cannot be retrieved, and OG are making counter actions elsewhere. Nexius getting onto T-roof. Problem will be whether or not he can silently get himself onto Silo, because that would be very fruitful in his endeavors, and he's setting up for it. Modo trying his best to contain and slow them down, but they've made it to close main, and Crizzen is, in fact, just putting them to the butchers. They couldn't even get into this A-bomb site, even with the extra manpower. Hearts out to Pious for a nice attempt, but not looking likely from here on out.
It's quite amazing that Nexus didn't actually have an impact on this round.
I think he did everything right as well.
Oh, God. I was also watching because with that push onto the top of lobby, he went past... Magus was in radio, so they had no idea a player was free ramp. It could have got very awkward, but all's well that ends well. And if Falcons trip up any more, we're going to Dust2.
Yeah, given the direction this game has gone, I think that is an inevitability. Modo, close to the hut. Bold maneuver, but they've been very infrequently prepared for the ult position. Modo constantly changing it up. It's just a blitz on this A-bomb site between Magisk and Madden. They found kills, but once again, it's just Fiku that comes out on the rotate and comes in with a multi. 3 in from Fiku, and Buzz was never expected from the same position. 9-3 at the half. Let's see if Falcons have more punch in the second, or whether we go to Dust2.
how the tables have turned. 9 for OG on Falcons pick. Dust2 beckons. Unless Falcons can do something pretty tremendous here on the defense. Hasn't been the same level of individual performances either, has it? And now's the time to start. I need the heavy hitters. I need the major winners to show us what they can do.
Yeah, it's been a bit limp from the Falcons coming into this second map. Martin had a pretty good half. Was up to antics towards outside, but it was never really enough. OG just trying to make quick work in towards main. It's Martin that once again is able to have some impact. 2 kills out, but there are responses here from OG that they do break into this top site. Dupree will run himself out, has a player right behind. It's Dupree that comes in on the first, and the trades are there via Some Pious, leaving it all on Buzz in the clutch. Plant is so fresh. The tap is not something that Buzz will expect them to stick fully. It's Snappy that has to trade. And it's very, very well done from the Falcons side. Just playing together continuously in that pistol. Even if OG get the plant, it is still a Falcons round.
If I'm OG, I'm buying. They can all but win the map with this round. Ever so important. Util is sparing. What have we got? Only the 2 smokes. Unless there's one rolling around on the ground. I don't think there is. They're going to really struggle, I think, to feign outer with only 2 smokes. Let's see what that is back. Close smoke. Now from Nexius. And look at this. Straight into ramp. I don't think they've got the util to default. They're thinking about going early.
No, Mac-10s for space taking or quick pacing. They want to try and take this fight at some level of range, but Snappy, fantastic positioning for those kills. Just 2, and there's no trade available there from OG. They don't have a lot left in the locker, and they're getting just completely destroyed through the smoke as well. 3 there to reinforce ramp. Don't expect much out of the remains of OG. A force buy is a complete flop.
Huge round from Snappy. As impact frags go, those are pretty far up there in a round like this. And as well, keeping this many players alive, if they can survive with all 5, that would just be tremendous. See if Modo can take more to the grave on his way out. No, he cannot. Another rifle scooped as well. It's a bit like Ancient, isn't it? Falcons, second half. Start well. Bulk up some cash. And suddenly OG are starting to feel a little bit more nervous.
Yeah, at least in the first map, you know, it felt like the game was always very tenuous, constantly unsure about who would come away with round wins. This one's been a bit more OG favored, of course, with the lead they came out of that first half with, but yeah, it's no doubt in my mind that Falcons can pull it back. But you need to have those confident rounds, and that was certainly one of them. It's a very juicy nade there from Snappy. And a deep position from ramp that he'll hold. We'll catch these players crossing, and now he's in a bit of an awkward spot. First kill is easy enough, and Madden gets there to reinforce. There are problems there from Snappy. Could have potentially been run down, but after he got that first kill, the mood lightens. I just did lose his life outside, but I imagine that's the only casualty they'll take in this round. Fiku has another couple of chances at it. But all you really want to do here on the Falcons is build nice stable economy. Shut down these ideas from OG. Don't allow free bomb plants. And life will be good. And Fiku is really bleeding this stone of every drop of water. And it's Snappy, the ramp player, that finally dies outside.
Found one. So I guess there was value in that. But this is what we're here for. OG on the rifles. Who's playing well? Fiku. 17 to 10. Modo doing well as well. Fiku stands in my mind as having more big moments in that first half, especially that round up on Mustang. That was monstrous.
I mean, 2 topside triple kills. Last round of the half as well. He found another. So
he's here to play.
Let's see if he can offer that up the same on the attack. Outside smokes, this is something that you noted they were missing in the force buy. Nice kill around the edges of it, though, via Madden. Catches Chris in top silo. They blow the smoke at great timing. Nexius was about to journey that cross, and the first smoke's gone. Second will dissipate soon after as well. So Nexius doesn't feel safe to even get into secret, and so the fight for early map control, Falcons have won it. They don't have another set of smokes that they can deploy to re-layer and actually make that cross without just facing with numbers. And OG are starting to gravitate over so that they have those numbers to trade. Snappy spotting numbers as well as they journey to red. Takes up a new angle, and his angle is rather tight. Fiku will still find the kill. And just on the cross, they're continuing to face and losing players for it. It's Madden and Dupree that try and lock things down. And Dupree does lose out on the lower side. Madden rotating through ramp. Smoke from Moto has to be good enough that it blocks off those double doors. Pius does not have an angle, so a plant can be allowed. Some Pius, that is an outrageous move. Running through that Molotov, Madden was not there to back up that play. They made separate decisions, but Madden sliding out. Smoke is still down, and it'll be hard to read where Fiku's positioned. Toll on timing. Whether or not Fiku will be able to catch Madden on transit or not. Madden's expecting a safer position, that's for sure. Double doors. He'll walk all the way in. Now steps made, and Fiku knows his position is absolute gold. Madden will be hard to anticipate this one as he moves in on that bomb. Fiku did not swing even before the tap, but he'll still find the headshot. A big clutch and another 3K in from Fiku. OG's star man.
Man of the hour. And it's OG to call their first pause. Interesting. I wonder if that's because they're going to have to invest everything here to buy again. Maybe they spotted some mistakes equally in the previous, who knows, but every round now is worth so much. 2 for overtime, 3 for win, that's all we need. And win this and Falcons money is a disaster. They'll have to eco, handing 12 to OG. Surely, unless there's a lot of saves. And even this round, look at it. A Deagle and MP9 in the mix. Granted, the util is good, but what the heck is Madden going to do with that?
Yeah, given the game that he's been having as well, it feels pretty poor that he's the one left on the Deag. Well, they'll leave responsibilities towards outside with some Pius. And that is very fruitful. Actually, it's just caught by that AWP. It's a nice smooth man advantage. They have reinforced his top side. Snappy with an MP9 in at ramp. Sun Pius has found another outside, and they're just going to funnel towards Snappy, who does have quick reinforcements. Madden's up close with that Deag, and so he'll find it. Even on his lower weapon, Madden is just having a hell of a game. 2 quick ones on that Deagle. The rifle recovered, and Snappy will be the one that closes out the round. It's double kills between Sun Pius and Madden on what was a weakened buy for the Falcons that does reset that OG economy.
That could have been the moment. The Falcons re-establish themselves here on Nuke. Madden is utterly formidable right now. Matches Fiku. Tip for tat, 20 apiece. And OG say we're saving.
Yeah. Well, I just love you saw the cogs turning there for Falcons. Some Pius gets an ult pick outside. They're expecting a burst inner. Almost immediately. Quick reinforcements, nothing happens, then Madden repositions, ramp in time. It's really well done. You know, they're trying to anticipate OG's next step. And by doing that continuously, they got there before OG had even made up their minds.
So elsewhere, Eternal Fire is 1-2-0. Cloud9 close with Heroic on map 2. They're map to the good. And Fnatic on course to even up against 3D Max. So the winner of this game will play Fnatic or 3D Max later today. Should be an interesting game.
Yeah, and if you're interested in that second game, we are sticking with that particular route, so...
Falcons Fnatic will be a very interesting series.
If it comes to pass.
Oh, in the lower bracket. Maybe. We'll see. Vegas with another. Stifles his offense. Christian does get down the vent.
Oh.
It goes back up again. He's caused plenty of rotations, and for the moment, Vegas is alone on this A-bomb site. Until debris repositions.
Yeah, it's a good move from Prison. You want to show that presence, but you also had to open the door. Okay, it didn't matter in the end. He's trying to be cute.
For OG. They worked so hard to pull a rotation, and in the end, it didn't really matter.
Yeah, it was cute. I think Kristen came up with that plan on the fly, but they didn't invest in that round too heavily, so it's neither here nor there. Falcons are on the path to bringing this one back. Their selection in the series, they already are a map to the good, and we'll be able to close this 2-0 should they turn their fortunes around, but OG are that much closer. They came into this half 9-3 in the advantage. The Falcons are picking up some steam. They are picking up some pace. Opa Senpai is tagging Nexius at the start of this round. Up to 42. Magic setting up for a top silo nade as well, and there's no one there on the receiving end. They were a little too far back to have been hurt by that util. And Martin has changed his position on this outer hold. Oh dear, this is looking like they might funnel right into the leading man for the Falcons. Outside smokes deployed here by OG. There's intent to cross. They are throwing Molotovs aplenty to try and delay, stall the OG pursuit. But will they lower their guard for Madden's spot? Nexius, completely unaware, didn't even think about it. Fiku, oh, it's a hesitant trade attempt. And so Madden pulls a smoke that he has time to do so. And Heavy rotates towards lower here by the Falcons. 4-on-4 and only 45 seconds here for OG to make their move. Bomb is committed past those secret steps as well.
I'm watching the lurkers. Buzz, Modo, they're the players that need to start making moves. Bomb is recalled as Senpai holds the cross. Modo comes to clear. Looking the wrong way. Senpai can't connect, but nonetheless, critical information. He repositions. Magus up next. 2 kills for his team. Only the one for Magus, but Senpai is doing God's work at the moment. Can't find the final kill, but with 10 seconds remaining, that bomb is out of dodge. Falcons get 9.
Yeah, just fast reactions, quick rotations, just continuously. You're right to highlight those lurkers, but OG's lurkers didn't get much going for them. By the time they get themselves into main, it's at that 20-second mark. And there was already Magisk and Senpai there to greet them. Some nice shots being hit by Senpai. Since he's had that AWP, he's had a lot of impact with it. From opening picks to tags. Putting himself in a lot of positions to succeed here on this CT side. In fact, that's one thing I'll credit both Alpers with so far on this map. You know, Modo had much the same impact. I think Falcons were getting picked apart by it all the same. I don't think OG were expecting to encounter as much strife as they have in this second half. I don't know if there's a second or another gear here to OG. You know, when Falcons were struggling to get rounds on this T side, they paced up significantly. They attacked the top side very quickly. OG have done nothing of the sort. You know, fastest round we've seen is when they tried to burst through ramp on Snappy, and he just brushed that aside. And now Fiku just dies to util. A nade molly combo outside. Or rather, into door. Sampaio as well playing close towards outer, but OG is...
He's in such a good spot, isn't he?
He's made the cross,
Behind all of them.
But does he know that they've crossed?
He does not.
Yeah.
There's no rotation from Falcons. They're actually putting down a lot of nades onto lobby, which tells me they think it's about to be an inner hit. Sampaio is about to confirm that there is indeed nobody lobby, so it will have to be a ramp-heavy retake. Can Snap even get off his nades to buy time? Doesn't look likely. I feel really bad for Falcons. I don't think Sampaia's played it wrong. It was a matter of timing. But now they're playing catch-up. They have a man advantage, but they've ceded so much ground. Work to be done.
Oh my goodness, Moto surviving on 1 HP. Molotov flushed him down to that health. And they're fast out from ramp. Snappy just trying to pin players in position while his teammates take space. It's Madden on his 8 HP that's actually gone a lot of distance, but even though he'll get away with his one, likely to fall quickly afterwards. Snappy clearing out the cubby, and Crimson left in the clutch. Door plant, and he had a gap in it as well that he can play from. He can even try and spam this. Snappy, I mean, has a kit, but count the seconds. Crimson, just so long as he didn't swing it instantly, there was no way for Snappy to win it. So an in-game leader on in-game leader violence for an 11th round here for OG.
That was a very messy retake from Falcons. I mean, granted, they were always kind of hoodwinked with the information. I guess they put a molly or something behind the silo because Modo and the other player there was tagged so low.
Yeah.
So ever so low. But they couldn't get the job done. That 2-on-1 as well at the end. I think Falcon should have pressed the brake pedal and played it together. One on the bomb, one holding. I think it's tremendously unlikely that it would have been a round win for OG. Third pause is through.
Yeah, they get caught in the heat of the moment. That one bit of misinformation from Sampaio. Oh, that really sucks. I do agree. I don't think he played it poorly. Full smoke wall, didn't hear a step.
It happens. His teammates also burnt so many nades, thinking it was about to be inner. If they have one more molly in that afterplan, I'm betting on Falcons.
Turns out to be a round-losing call.
Okay, Sampaio's burst of smoke. Tells his teammates, I see nil. We know the truth. It's ramp. OG on location with numbers. Snappy had a great round earlier, but this one's important. Sampaio is gone. Snatch from the air. Buzz finds the first. Snappy gives ground. Calls Madden over. And what the heck do you do next? They have so many lower. Look how many lower Falcons have. They're free in position. 4 now. Over rotation. They are convinced it's the lower site. And they are right. I can't believe that. I genuinely can't believe they rotated with that many numbers. That is a huge risk, but it's worked.
Yeah. Oh, God, has it worked. They wanted to fight them off of that position. I imagine if there is no presence from OG, they just walk push it. Take the fight to them. They did not want OG to be comfortable. It's Nexus from his lurker position that has brought it back from a 1-on-3 to 2. Dupree and Madden setting up in a pretty strong crossfire. Some great positions on this site that they could be hiding in from, and Madden will even find great timing to swing out and control. That is a great decision in from Snappy. The fact he even got away with a second kill, you know, he called for that heavy rotation. But it was a similar round build from OG to that force buy that they did in the second round coming into this half. They popped the smoke with an HE, they tried to layer utility, and Snappy holds his number.
I was sat there watching it thinking, OG are about to pivot into heaven because they've done so much ramp but not committed. That's what surprises me so much, is that I don't know how Falcons read that. I really don't. I don't know if they had some information. Lobby, they've forced some bias and a bit on outer, but what a call. Keep them in this Nuke game. But now up against the pistols, we saw some flaws, didn't we? Back on Ancients.
Yeah.
Half buys.
Oh, what?
Did so much work for OG. Modo collects a second. This would all but win the map if they can convert this man advantage. Falcons are a deer in the headlights. They don't know what to do now.
An outrageous shot from Modo. Madden tried to play as safe as possible, and it could end up being a defining kill for this round. I mean, sure, they've got lobby control, and now they'll split up, just try and get information, but Modo's holding for the flank. He's hit another tag.
They're so dispersed, these CTs. Magus commits behind this unbreakable crate.
I don't think Kristen saw, though.
I don't think Kristen saw him, but in some ways it's not that bad from OG. They've shown presence in heaven. They're going to hold players upper sight. Whilst we know they're going elsewhere. Madden, all alone. Only one teammate. And Magus is a long way off. Snappy finds one. 17 seconds. Needs to buy time. And he can't buy much. Down to Magisk. Nexius holding his position. First kill just about goes the way of Magus, but this HP, I'm not seeing it. Of course it's Modo to end it. Two massive entries, a tag, and the closer. We could be on Dust2 soon.
Yeah, that's a crazy round for them to win. I have to say as well, the swing from Sampaius, dry, outside, full wide swing, that's outrageous. I couldn't believe he swung like that into 3. And I wasn't sure that would be a mistake that ended up costing them the round, but Falcons are remiss to lose another one of these force buys.
If they lose this series, that would be one of those moments. Modo, with the AWP scooped off the ground in the previous, opens the scorecard. Magisk up next to try and find a rebuttal. There's so many players around him. When did he get engaged? Spots the AK. Immediate trade not found, but Fiku does the job. Make it 2. Fiku's been a stalwart, a monster, a beast on Nuke. 2 remaining to find. OG ain't done. This is surely going to Dust2 now.
I struggle to find the magic that Dupree and Snappy could pull off here. Might have had moments from Dupree on Ancient. And Nuke has not been the same story whatsoever. This was a hard-fought comeback here for the Falcons. But seeming like they may have stumbled at one of these final few moments. It's a great call here from OG. They group themselves, they head towards this lower site, and Dupree is in proximity, but not a great position to pull the plug on an OG commitment. Look on the double doors. That will deny him vision and access. Snappy loud about his rotate as well, and there's still a lurking presence coming in from behind. Modo is trying to be active, but he has an AWP, and he doesn't want to give that over to the CTs all the same. Snappy has found a kill, but Dupree is empty-handed, and Buzz will finish off the job. Fiku narrowly squeaking with a 25th kill over the great performance that Madden had on the other end of the Falcons, but it seems that Dust2 is our destined location. We have to finish this series somehow. I was not expecting Falcons to find
ourselves on Dust2, and it's got to be said, Falcons like some Dust2. They could have picked it in this series, but they chose not to. So I don't know. I'm not too scared. I just sometimes wish I saw more out of Falcons. Sounds a bit depressing, but I wasn't that impressed by that nuke, and I want some more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's not like OG shy away from this map either. You know, they have been picking it themselves, but it's been a little bit here and there in terms of their results. And, you know, that's only natural given the roster moves that they've gone through recently. I feel like I point that out a bunch, but it's just important for us to manage expectations. But they've definitely been punching up, and Falcons maybe receiving too many of those punches. Starting CT side here on Dust2. Dupree's peeking into lower and does see the shoulder, but unable to connect on any of the shots. Falcons funneled away from those more aggressive lines at the start of this pistol. OG getting up to some map control antics. 3 in mid, still holding a player up towards top mid as well, and Moto actually, sorry, just still holding on to the upper tunnels and throwing a mid B smoke from outside of B.
There's so many CTs here. 4 on location, Snappy's flanking, it's a bloodbath. Oh, it's over.
Damn.
That was as clean as it gets.
I'm a little unfamiliar with this particular approach that OG went for in the pistol, and maybe I should remain unfamiliar with it. Because that was a tragedy. Yeah, Falcons just had too many members, and they'll use those extra members to gun down Moto at the end as well.
Just felt like they had no reason not to be there. It was like, granted, good calling from Falcons. From the start of the round, they had a fairly good setup for a B split, but maybe OG should have poked and prodded a little bit more. Looks like Moto's doing a newfound strategy, the double scout T side. You scout this round, and you scout the first gun round.
I would be surprised if between maps, Zonic didn't mention to just stop losing to force buys. And investments like it. Moto did buy a scout in this round, but nobody else actually bought with him, and maybe they didn't need to. They get 2 Glock kills, get their hands on some weapons too, but good space taken by Martin on the the MP9. He'll find all 3, and even get his hands on one of those Feld rifles. It's fine. Falcons are good.
Gets a bit hectic. Certainly means some of these players don't have a lot of money in reserve. Snappy has the AWP. Am I missing something?
That's a choice.
Maybe Madden's AWPing. I don't understand. I mean, some players had the best long spawn. So I wonder if that's it. We'll watch throughout this half, guys. We'll see if they keep taking the best long spawn for control, but color me a little bit confused.
Yeah, that is a choice. See if it actually hurts their approach. Now, Martin did get tagged by the scout of Moto, so maybe it's best he holds on to that AWP. He'll just be locking down the B bomb site, holding at distance. Ooh, great spam there from Fiku. We tuned into his POV a little late, but may have heard the singeing of Snappy that was playing close to those doors.
Dust2 is an infamously hard map to react in this position on the CD side. You don't have many options. They've smoked mid, that at least masks their rotations. To cast a little bit of doubt, some Pius gets aggressive on long doors. That kill is so important. So buys a little bit of time. The problem is that we can see what's coming. We know it's going to be a B hit. And Madden with 32 HP, the only player on location, Dupree, held at bay by that mid-speed smoke for the moment. And Madden's got to find kills, potentially multiple. Dupree makes it just in time to lend a hand. Awkward exchange, but Dupree is doing work. 2 collected. With only 17 seconds, Falcons could even choose to fight this as the bomb gets tapped.
Yeah, flash through. Moto, I mean, just immediate reaction, a headshot there on the scout, and they're going to be able to plant this bomb, but Magisk is creeping into the bomb site, and he's dropped, but not actually found the kill he was looking for. It's a spray transfer in from Magisk to clutch back. Might have missed his window, but he more than makes up for it. Falcons still to seed around here on CT.
It's Dupree and Magisk again. For those that didn't see Ancient, this was it. Absolute stalwarts.
Yeah.
Wow, that was a wild round.
I mean, Dupree with his fast rotate, like mollied mid, ran through the mid B smoke, and then honestly, the counter flash from Martin as soon as he missed his first shot on the AWP is what bought them enough time that Dupree could actually get onto the B bomb site to help.
I'm a little confused that OG hasn't paused. And that's because they paused so many times in the earlier maps in a similar spot when they knew the money was up for grabs. Big kill from Fiku. Gets out along. Look at the cash in reserve for Falcons. Zilch. They've obviously got no loss bonus as well. But just throwing men into the fray. I don't know what Christian's doing there. He's so late to the party.
Yeah, I think he wanted to get there in time to save Fiku, but like you said, just far too late. They didn't have flashes.
There's some spots where you just have to accept your teammate's going to die. Sometimes you just need to let it happen.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe you can throw some flashes over to give Fiku some more fights, but that wasn't worth it.
I have something to tag onto that, but I'll wait, because Magisk is in for a bit of a trial by fire. Molly at the back of the bomb site. Nexius knows he's at the backside. And he'll go out hard swinging, but Magisk still gets both? How on earth did he manage that? In fact, he'll finish with a triple kill. They knew exactly where Magisk was, and it didn't matter. He just destroys the remaining 3 of OG. Hot damn. So, my point I was going to tag on is, I agree, you know, there are certain places where you have to admit that your teammate is going to die. There's a term in, mainly from MOBAs that I would have carried this over from. I know it's something that they use in Dota, called save a buddy syndrome, where somebody's out of position, you know, in MOBAs, you know, you can be all over the map, whatever, and sometimes it's a good play, sometimes it's not. But if someone is caught and out of position, you just have to accept they've died, because if you try and save them, chances are they're still gonna die, and then you're next on the chopping block. So yeah, don't get caught in save a buddy syndrome.
I'm sure there's a... I mean, obviously in the military this must happen. Where you have to just make the bigger decisions.
Sure. It's the idea of cutting your
arm,
losses.
save the body and all that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Magus is still one of the best anchors in the world, isn't he? It's actually ridiculous.
I don't know how he's gotten away with it.
It's actually ridiculous. And it's always the funny thing when you watch Falcons, is sometimes... I mean, Magus has been brilliant today, but I've seen some... I think Sampire today did an interview where he said he's not playing his best, but I've seen the flashes of Sampire being the player we all know he is. Even Dupree's in some massive games. Obviously, Madden has played some great Counter-Strike. Just, for whatever reasons, we know they got it in them to be so much more.
But it's only in flashes that we've seen it so far, which is, I guess, the problem that they've been unable to sort of diagnose.
This is a bad time to clear mid. This is not a good time. We're in the wrong position. And Falcons have ceded what is the hardest site in Counter-Strike to retake. If this bomb gets planted, and they might really try and deny this before it goes down, suddenly the script changes. Let's see. Molly over, they don't commit through.
But they've got so much util.
Retake now.
They have so much util. 2 mollies, 2 smokes, so many flashes. They are going to fight for this. I mean, they have the man advantage as well. Yeah, this will be incredibly taxing here for OG. They have nothing further to segment off the site. The flashes are great. Buzz does get one. Prison in that big box. But trades are there for the Falcons, and they make use of all of that utility that they had still remaining. Faster play from OG. Doesn't work out on B, but they do get the plant at the very least.
I was so nervous that they weren't going to find the bomb. Oh, that raised my heart rate. Good retake, though.
Yeah.
The mollies to clear out the close angles and swing on the flashes. It was calm, it was composed. They clearly had a good conversation before they actually committed, so credit where it's due.
Yeah, I think when we talk about B being hard to retake, usually it's, when we're in the late round when you have absolutely nothing anyway, so those angles are really hard to deal with when you don't have mollies and smokes, which fortunately the Falcons did.
I think it makes a big difference as well when you have rifles on the T side. I just feel like, especially for window, even if you get blinded, you just hold down.
Fair.
And you're pretty much going to kill the first man in. You can even preempt unfacing to take 4 or 5 shots and unface. So good retake. But OG with that plant, they've done damage. This time it's mid is the port of call. Sampaius is all on his lonesome. Kristen's already out, dodges the flash, gets his fight. Where's the trade? A little bit too long, and Sampaius has a sliver around this smoke. Buzz had no idea that Sampaius was playing in front. Nexius here trying to react. He knows there's no AWP posted on shore, but there's 4 players A for Falcons. You're not getting in here.
Sampaius close enough by that you could even think about jumping up. There's a smoke down just at that position. Things could get very awkward for Sampaius. The rest of his team see Siege. Would making some steps, but yeah, blissfully unaware about Dupree just sitting inside of Goose. His teammates had done more than enough to draw attention, so it's simple pickings for Dupree. And Modo, yeah, gonna get caught by the Magisk. Reposition in through mid. 6 rounds straight here for the Falcons. Only a couple have even really been close.
I'm not surprised. We're getting our second pause for OG in round 7. We're running out of leeway.
It's a lot of very committed ideas from OG in the opening 30, 40 seconds. I don't know if you share this, I guess, view of Dust2, but I think so much about... And the reason there's a lot of criticism about Dust2 is that a lot of the staging of rounds is always the same. You know, a lot of spread control, flashing, and, you know, taking short and mid and all these different positions. OG have not really done that so far on this T side. They've been clustering up together to try and take areas, and, well, it hasn't worked as of yet.
It's true. I will say, they did almost get a big timing when Madden was solo B on the AWP.
Yeah.
And Sampaius, they were leading 4A there, were Falcons, if you count Sampaius as an A player. So actually, in some, I could see a very credible case that OG actually are making big picture decisions that are quite good. Just when they actually come to the hit, either for maybe a slight lapse in, you know, timing, slight hesitation, they're just missing the moment. I don't mind how this T side is being called. It's just when push comes to shove, they can't break this defense for Falcons, be it Sampaius, Dupree, and especially Magus in his anchoring positions. They just can't break the fold. And this round, well, it's just a half buy, but it's no different. The tune is exactly the same. Bells are ringing, because Falcons are on their way to 7.
And Sampaius will be more than pleased to lap up those 2 kills. Even had a bit of a shadow advantage on the final as well. 7-0, and money is really building here for the CT side. Given how many great performances they've had just locking down the bomb sites itself. Something really does need to change here for OG. And it's not for a lack of trying for some of these pacier plays. Or these clustered attacks. Fast play out towards long, and Nexius just gets blitzed. Yeah. Tagged by utility and bullets alike, and the long plays shut out completely.
This is old school from Falcons. They are, in fact, taking the long spawn every round they have it to cross pit and then throw the molly on the first player. Astralis infamously did this for a long time, where they disregard their own CT positions to always take the spawn. So Magus is obviously the B anchor. Dupree has filled that in this round. Not necessarily the easiest to pull off. I mean, if you guys listening are playing in your ESEA open games, you might really struggle when you change position on the fly, but these guys know what they're doing. B hit is in. Dupree actually gets caught. Head is scalped through the box. Problem is, not much more is going.
Well, Buzz 1v3 is cut to a very quick halt. 8-0. Like you're noting, these positions are constantly in flux. You know, I think there's a lot of advantages to doing it. The hardest part to pull off, like you're saying, is understanding the timings and how to react, but also by changing spots, you're also incredibly dynamic. Like, not everyone's going to play the same positions. You'll play it in different ways. It can be very strong if you manage it, and Falcons are doing more than manage. They are thriving in the attempts here on the CT side. It's, once again, low buys here for the OG side, but they will not see the same fruit. Sure, they get 2 kills, and Sampaius is low HP, but hard to actually pull this one all together. Krisen will have heard the steps of Magisk, and Moto has finished off that low health Sampaius. Don't tell me OG are going to get away with another half buy. They've already had so many this series. It's a good kill there.
They've also
Snappy.
lost quite a lot of man advantages this series, so dueling identities at the moment.
Which is the stronger one?
Yeah, well, I guess the weaker, I guess. Who knows? Tune in to find out. For now, OG reroutes. Magus almost caught on the cross, but it's almost worth it for the information. Magus commits close mid. Where's Snappy? He's on the box by Catwalk. He can get into this fight very fast. And Magus takes contact. Playing wide out of window. Nobody expects that. Danish Inquisition. And Magus wins out.
Let's see if the Scout of Modo can once again ring in, but nope. Timing from Snappy is just far too good. A 3K from Snappy, who only had 3 before that round, but, I mean, he's loving life. He's 6-1.
Why didn't Falcons pick Dust2? That's what I'm thinking here at the moment. Because I did see the veto. I mean, stats do say it should have been a Dust2 or Anubis pick. They do pick a lot of Nuke, which is why I don't think either of us were surprised. It's like, well, they're just going to play Nuke because they like playing Nuke. But they really are very well oiled on this map.
There's also not a lot of newfangled tricks I don't think people can really pull off on Dust2. Sure, the smoke's changed play slightly, but...
yeah, and if there's any advantages, it comes on CT. Not helping Falcon, so not helping OG at the moment. That's for sure. A point you did raise earlier, and it's starting to ring true now, is OG don't really default. They've rarely taken short and held mid and not got pushed long at the same time, and then made a decision. I don't think many times the CTs have been uncomfortable. Where was Snappy pushing long doors? I guess that was the mid and the BU till he bit on it.
Yeah. Oh, and Fiku, another ripper. Punish Snappy and punishes Dupree all the same. It's the ult of Sampaius in a strong position. Still playing close to this smoke, but it's Fiku that just runs out long and completely blindsides. It's a Fiku round through and through. He's got 4 kills in the first round for OG, and all of them are headshots.
Gorgeous round. And just as we're speaking about how OG have never thrown any misdirection or anything, it almost... That's why Snappy pushes, because you've just seen every other round in this half, and it's been simple Counter-Strike into splitting a site or whatever. He can't believe that it's actually a fake. So, credit to OG for finally changing what they're presenting. And of course it takes a player like Fiku to capitalise upon those openings.
The funniest part is, you know, even in those one-track-minded sort of takes from OG, Falcons actually haven't gone for more risky rotations very often. And the one round that Snappy does, sure enough, that's when they're defaulting. So,
yeah, I mean, this round's actually a really good one to show how Falcons take long on CT. Is look at who the A players are this round. Magisk, Bianca is on the site. Dupree, normally B rotator, is started long as well. So that's what Falcons are doing there. They're just using the best spawns, whoever's got them, to secure long control. Magus buys a bit of time, and check out the aggression. Sampaius up in tunnels on B. Surely can tell his teammates, I can see zilch. There's nothing around. I'm surprised there's not even more numbers on A proper, because this seems telegraphed.
Well, re-execution from short. Once again, this double smoke layering in from OG. Magisk doesn't have that backup that he would have almost wanted and requested earlier on, but they weren't sure. The second pump of OG has permeated into the site, but Magisk hasn't actually committed to duels yet. Waited for the flash of Snappy. Debris nade will finish off one more, but they're finding trades that are still in their advantage. And Moto as well will pick off the corner peek from Snappy. So, looking like a second round, all but guaranteed. Save on Sampayas would go a long way as well. Because while they were building money for quite some time.
I don't know if he dropped that AWP way out in the open. I'd obviously love to go back for it, but I think it might be exposed to CT. Out in CT.
Yeah, I think he'd be worried about making a sound cue if somebody's close short.
I think that's the first round where I'm not sure Falcons were totally on the same page. Because Sampayas really pushed tunnels quite wide. He cleared the T-side entranceway. I think that's how wide he went. And he didn't see anything. There was no pressure there from the Ts. I don't know.
Yeah. I think after the first...
If you're not going to play A, why not react mid more aggressively? Because that's the other option, is to play 2 in mid. And then the moment you hear too much catwalk, you go. You try and force a move, but that didn't really happen.
But then as well, Snappy may have expected that someone would come out long if they were throwing out as much presence as they did on short without actually revealing anything. And yeah, nothing ended up happening. There was nobody there. Aggressive play, this time over from the Falcons. They're done with all of dealing with defaults. They take matters into their own hands. And he finds 2 kills. They get out. That's as clean as you could really have asked for the Falcons.
I kind of love it. I kind of love it. They really did just say, screw your late round shenanigans. We're going up mid. Madden finds 2. This nade. But it would dunk a bit harder than that. He's brought these players in range of one-shot headshots, I guess. But, not necessarily the easiest map to play, actually, with 4 rifles in a 4v3. OG can take duels. And obviously the Cs are completely isolated from each other because it's so hard to rotate. I think there's still a little bit of pressure. Looks like we're going A. And it looks like Sampayas will be called upon first. So as to join his teammate, and I kind of like this. You know, if you have to play retake, you have to play retake, but don't let them take 2 one-on-ones.
Yeah, I think because Buzz was throwing util outside of Longhouse, they're expecting to find a 2-on-1 in that position, but just as you say, don't split up. After Sampayas goes and backs up Snappy, they do split once again, and Snappy is making noise, rotating into the site. Moto a little slow to react, but not a lot that Sampayas can do to set Snappy up in this position. They have ceded all that control. Flash goes deep by OG. They want the duel. And Sampayas and Snappy will actually combine for both. No time left. A 10-2 half for the Falcons on this decider. A fantastic start. Let's see if they can close after the break. The final map between Falcons and OG here in our opening round of the Intel Extreme Masters Rio European Closed Qualifiers. And it has been a hell of a fight, a hell of a series so far until Dust2. Falcons with a 10-2 lead coming into this half and hoping that they can close in just as smooth a fashion. OG really need to put up a stop in this pistol, and it's not gotten off to a great start. Fico already dinked. They're playing for the retake.
Up for a 5-on-5 retake. Nexus gets his duel. No frags found. Somehow, nobody yet to be felled. The bomb, strictly speaking, is planted for long. It's a hell of a long way to take a fight on a block. But nonetheless, somewhat of an advantage here for Falcons. As OG starts around the site. Problem is, it's just Madden left. If he had a rifle, this would be a much stronger position. He decides to get aggressive and try and get in the fights, but... no bueno. Pissed around for OG.
Yeah, I didn't feel like there was a whole lot to that retake aside from grouping up, swinging wide, and hoping you hit shots. And good thing for OG is that getting kills on pistols actually hasn't been much of a difficulty for them in this series. From pistol rounds to force buy wins, they get a lot of them.
So you're saying they should never buy rifles?
I wouldn't advise that. But it does play into their strengths. It does play into some strengths.
I do hope some budding in-game leaders just take everything I say totally seriously and go and try it. That would be glorious. That is you. Take some flicks, send them over. Falcons on the force buy, ever potent at these, especially on a map like Dust2. You don't need all the utils. Just get out, get in some duels, show some presence. And if they can overwhelm Modo here, there's definitely a bomb plant to be had. Nexus is on location now. Snappy can't connect with some pies. Is such an awkward engagement. And is that bomb dropped off a catwalk? Where is it? Is it on the ledge?
Yeah, I think it actually might be on the floor at the CT's feet, but because Falcons really wanted to just continue fighting, and they will succeed.
I think it was on the boxes, right? I couldn't actually see it, but that's what it looked like.
Yeah, I've struggled to find it.
Well, that's a disaster for OG.
How many times Snappy missed as well on the scout. I didn't think they'd get much out of that round, but yeah, that's pretty disastrous.
I mean, it was always going to be out of reach, I think, as well, but just salt in the wounds, really, at this point.
Good tag from Moto at the start of this round. Snappy throwing a deep molly just to prevent a lowers push. Pistols here on the defensive B. Only good for one, and some Pius is collected on a double kill. So unlikely to transition this into much to show for. What a shot from Krisen. Oh my goodness. Fantastic adjustment. Gets his hands on a MAC-10 at the very least. But he just can't fight for this. No util, no weaponry. Surely no chance, but probably the best that they'll have. And it's already too far gone. Fiku's not going to get away with much. Sliding out, hoping for exits, but into the smoke, and he'll get both exits, in fact. May go down to the bomb. That's the only thing that prevents him from getting much more, and Krisen will scoop up an AK. Okay, just a complete drive-by. Sampaz was 3 HP. But regardless, Falcons are at match and series point.
Yeah, I mean, if this was the first half, I'd be saying, oh, that's tremendous damage. Well done. But we just got to light this over, guys. At least I got an AK through, I guess. Quick pause. You're not winning 9 in a row. It's not going to happen. So I guess what you... I don't know. I mean, you should play one round at a time. It certainly would be a bit dejecting if they go out of the series in this fashion after... The first 2 maps are very competitive. Very competitive. It's a bit of a shame. Consolation rounds, I think, is what we're playing for now. And we'll see how many OG can get.
Nothing immediately off of spawn here from the Falcons. Snappy will challenge towards long. Missed Molotov. Maybe just setting up for the idea that it could have been a player escaping blue bins, and Dupree from the lower tunnels has already decapitated Moto. That was one of the rifles they brought forward. There was an M4 and that Kristen saved AK. And now that M4 is stranded short, there's a recovery mission from Fiku to get their hands on it.
OG are going to crunch mid here. It's a shame they don't have a flashbang. They'll be relying on contact. Fiku, it's a really hard fight. Kristen, they line up well. Does Falcons come for more? They molly. It's actually not a great molly, is it? Can't peek behind it, really. Get some sort of engagement versus Kristen, but in the meanwhile, Magus has done the hard work. B-bomb site is claimed. We saw a retake earlier, but there's not the nades here. This is so hard for OG.
Oh my goodness. Magus went out for the kill, but there was a smoke that's down, and Fiku observing around the other side of it. They don't have kits. OG have to break through and use their numbers. Have a flash that Buzz can line up, but it'll have to be damn good. Sampaio is able to dodge, and Madden will collect. In fact, getting both on headshots to close out this map here for the Falcons. 13-3 is how we close on Dust2, but the Falcons do get past the young and budding OG.
Yeah, I mean, it was a troublesome series up to this point. I mean, that map was phenomenal.